AM WDDO.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers, but are the views and opinions of the participants of the broadcast.
Macon in Middle Georgia. It's time for Village Talks with Tia and LJ. Join them live every Wednesday from 5:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. right here on the Glory 107.9 FM, 980 AM WDDO. Log on to the Glory 107.9 FM on Facebook or YouTube to become a part of the conversation. Let's go live into the studio for Village Talks with Tia and LJ.
Is your child struggling with reading, writing, learning loss, and a culturally irrelevant curriculum? Do you want your child to be outstanding at reading and writing and also take pride in their culture? Then you want Reading Revolution Online. Reading Revolution Online is a web-based reading support program. We serve scholars in grades K through 8, and through our innovative approach, we help them build reading confidence and cultural identity development, equipping them for success in school and life. They learn about Black heroes and sheroes through captioned videos, reading selections, and other activities. Reading Revolution Online is an experience for the whole family. Do it for the culture. Go to readingrevolution.org and get your membership today.
Hey, I'm trying to get right. Good evening. How y'all doing? Welcome to Village Talks. We are Macon in Middle Georgia's freshest radio show and Godcast, bringing you conversations centered around culture and community from right here in 478 and beyond. I am your co-host, LJ, and to my left is the drum roll. The phenomenal, the beautiful, the oh so intelligent, oh so lovely, amazing. I'm just speechless.
I was gonna say.
She leaves me speechless. Co-host.
Tia, peace, good people. How y'all doing out there? Thank y'all so much for joining us. We appreciate y'all.
Yes. I'm feeling good today. Are you feeling good today, Tia?
I'm feeling great. The sun is shining. My head apparently is. I'm feeling good. Sun shining. We got a lot going on in Macon here, and so we're gonna get to things. But I'm fabulous. 432.
Absolutely, 432. That's a great number. Y'all look that up. Yeah, it's a good number. Yeah, but just to let everyone know, we had a few questions lately about the show. It's like, y'all always have all the five guests, the great guests. So do y'all still have guests? Yeah, of course. We're gonna be having some guests on very soon. As right now, we're celebrating. Today's our 50th show.
50, y'all. So yeah, this is our 50th episode. It's been great so far. We coming up on a year of hosting the show and having this great opportunity, this great platform. So
absolutely,
yeah, we had to do this was kind of solo dolo, but you know y'all are always our guests, our village family. We appreciate y'all out in the comments. Y'all be blowing up the chat. Y'all be calling in, sharing your thoughts and opinions and everything. So that is what this show is about. That's what this platform is for. So.
Absolutely. So with that being said, we are live on the radio. This is we're on the Glory 107.9 FM, 980 AM. So if you're just out in Macon, Middle Georgia, and you are able to listen to the radio, make sure you keep us dialed in on that dial tone, on that tune.
On that frequency.
On that frequency, not dial tone. Don't hang up on us.
Don't hang up on us.
But yeah, and also if you're live, like some of our guests are in the chat right now. If you're live online on Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube, you can check with us on The Glory on any one of those platforms as well to join the chat. And as always, feel free. You are welcome to call in and join this conversation. And you can call us at 478-250-1444. And shout out to the chat already going in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we got Mr. Wade Horton. That's my guy.
Yes, hey, Wade.
He says hello, listening from his yoga class.
Okay. We're going to be that, get that meditation going and keep that balance and centered and grounded. Yeah.
Most definitely. Pastor Richard Robinson says, what up, fam? What's going on, Pastor?
What's going on, Pastor? Thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, and all of the great things he's doing over there at the with adopting the community garden at Jefferson Long Park.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, him and the church are doing amazing things to Pleasant Hill. We're glad that you came from the east side to Pleasant Hill, and we appreciate what you're doing over there, Pastor. Miss Stephanie Stevens Lanham says, congratulations. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yeah, she ran an awesome race, too. We're going to talk about that, too. She was one of the District 5 candidates for commissioner, and she did an awesome job, in that little short time that they had.
Right, it was a very short time.
Yeah, right.
Very short window.
But we look forward to her being a part of whatever it is that she chooses to do, as far as our local leadership or any type of position that she's seeking here locally, because I think she'll be great.
Absolutely. And that's one of the things that we kind of want to talk about too, having a plan of action, courses of action. So yeah, we definitely want to get into that.
Right. Pastor Robinson says, congratulations again. Thank you, sir. Ashley Woodford, she says, hey,
Ashley. Miss Ashley, she be doing the great things. And if y'all don't know, she is over the chair over the recreation committee for the Pleasant Hill Neighborhood Organization, and she is doing a great job with getting everything together for our Family Fun Day events. This past Sunday, it was a lot of families, a lot of fellowship out there at Maddie Hubbard Jones Park. We had the bounce house going, some volleyball, the grill was going, some pulled chicken. It was a lot of good things. So if you all are able, the first or second Sundays of every month is Family Fun Days, and shout out to Ashley, shout out to Ed Foster who brought that idea to life, and to everybody who is supporting and participating in Family Fun Day.
Sure, Pleasant Hill Neighborhood Organization.
Absolutely.
Yeah, shout out to these neighborhood organizations putting in the work, man, for real. Miss Jeanette Goff says, congrats on your 50th episode.
Thank you, Miss Goff. We appreciate you for always listening in, checking in with us. Thank you so much for being an active participant in the conversations.
For sure. So yeah, let's go ahead and get it moving. I know we got some folks. They told us they was gonna be calling in now. So
we did have some folks that they're gonna call in. So let's get to it. I'm gonna tell y'all the good news, what's happening in Macon and Middle Georgia. So on Saturday, April 18th, this coming Saturday, West Side, there is going to be the West Side Community Yard Sale from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. It'll be located at 2766 Mount Pillier Avenue. Families can shop, sell, and connect with neighbors. So this is a great opportunity for community building. So shout out to DeMario for putting that on. Also happening on Saturday, this coming Saturday, Making Bibb Earth Day Festival Recycling Station will be hosted by Keep Making Bibb Beautiful and Ryland Environmental. This will be taking place at Emerson River Park from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. You can bring aluminum cans and plastic bottles for recycling as part of a sustainability effort. Right? Okay. And there's a lot of things going on Saturday, because also happening is the Picnic in the Park Food Truck Festival.
Oh, yeah.
This will be taking place at Central City Park. Formerly Central City Park, currently Carolyn Creighton Park, from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. This will include free entry, food trucks, music, family fun, and kids zone. You are encouraged to bring your lawn chairs, tents, and blankets to that event. And then bringing in the 30th annual Pan-African Festival this Thursday, April 23rd through Sunday, April 26th.
That's next week.
Next week. I'm sorry. So not this Thursday, but next Thursday. So following everything that's going to be happening this weekend. So the events include a prayer walk, which will be taking place on Thursday, April 23rd. The Afrocentric Ball at the Tubman Museum will be taking place at 7 p.m. That will be happening on Friday, April 24th. And then April 25th and 26th is the festival weekend, and that will be at Henderson Stadium. There will be live performances, cultural exhibits, food vendors, arts, crafts, and a whole lot more. So again, this is the 30th annual Pan-African Festival. There are shirts for sale at the Tubman Museum. So make sure if you are going to be going to the Pan-African Festival, or even if not, just support the cause. They are selling shirts. I believe they're $25. Right. Go and get you one of those. Also happening on the 25th is the free spring paper shredding event. We got to get to that. From 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. at Stratford Academy. That address is 6010 Peak Road, and it'll feature safe disposal of sensitive documents. So if you have any old mail, old information, anything that you just have stacked up and boxed up, spring cleaning is definitely in order. So go ahead and head over to that paper shredding event at Stratford Academy on Saturday, April 25th. And then finally, and this is starting in May, Saturday, May 9th, this will be a recurring event, the Tubman Museum Youth Art and Book Club. It'll happen every Saturday from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. This is for youth ages 10 to 18, and it is $20 a month. It'll be located at the Tubman Museum. And so we are encouraging youth to get out there for the Youth Art and Book Club. And that is what's happening in Macon and Middle Georgia. Oh, I'm sorry. Very quickly, we have Sherman in the comment says Bid Middle School baseball playoffs kicks off Saturday at Central High School. So that's also something that's going on in the community. The first game is at 9 a.m. And if you all have any other events that you know that are taking place, feel free to shoot us some DMs at Village Talks, or you can, like Sherman is doing, just put that information in the chat and let the people know what's happening.
For sure. A lot of good stuff happening. Ashley, I think you mentioned that too about the Little Richard Festival.
The Little Richard, I did not mention it, but it'll be taking place
this Saturday.
On Saturday, yes.
Yeah, that's very important at Jefferson Lawn Park in Pleasant Hill. So make sure y'all get out to that. We got to celebrate Little Richard. We got to do that. Little Richard don't get enough props in general. You know, even right here in Macon,
his hometown.
You know what I mean? Like, I know I'm always griping about this, but you know, I saw they have this little slogan around here where they talk about making the home where the South rocks, or the home of Southern rock, right? You know, and shout out to the Armour Brothers. You know, they did their thing too. But if you know anything about music and how it's categorized, Southern rock is a subgenre of rock and roll.
That's right.
Right. So Little Richard created rock and roll. Right. So the Beatles, Jimi Hendrix, like a lot of the very top folks who did what they did in the space of rock and roll used to open up for Little Richard. Like Little Richard kind of like helped discover the Beatles and stuff like that. Like that's major. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So you have people like Prince and and a lot of other folks said they got their style from him. Muhammad Ali said he even took some of his sound bites and I'm pretty and all this kind of stuff. He came with a lot of flavor and sauce.
He came with a lot of flavor. Absolutely.
Yeah. So we are. Somebody actually says we used to be the music capital of the world. We still are the music capital of the world.
Yeah, it's a lot of good things happening. And if you aren't familiar with or haven't taken the tour of the Little Richard House, Miss Rose gives great information. The tour is phenomenal. So make sure you check out the Little Richard House Monday through Friday. I believe 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. They have shirts for sale, and then you can see a lot of the history that is right there in the house that Little Richard grew up in. So I think that's important when we talk about making connections and understanding the importance of our history and our culture. We have some cultural gems right here in the heart of Macon, in Pleasant Hill and all over. So we definitely need to make sure that we are making an effort to, keep those memories and legacies alive. Right.
And shout out to Professor Matt Harper.
Oh, yes.
From Mercer University. He's going to come on our show very soon. And man, he was at the Pleasant Hill Neighborhood Organization meeting. Y'all should check out Ashley Woodford's live. She went live from the Pleasant Hill Neighborhood Organization meetings. If you can be, friend her on Facebook, look for Ashley Woodford.
Yes.
And look at the live that she just did, a Facebook live that she did on Saturday from the Pleasant Hill Neighborhood Organization meeting. And Professor Matt Harper from Mercer University, he's a white brother, but he talked about Black history.
Absolutely.
In a way that was so profound. And he even said, not coming from Macon, he felt as if Macon, I ain't gonna give up too much because he's gonna come on the show. Mm-hmm. But he just talked about the importance of us celebrating our Black history and how rich Black history was, that rich of a history we have here, in the Black communities here in Macon, and saying that he feels as if Macon has a richer Black history, richer Black history than anyone in the United States.
Absolutely.
And I've always felt that way. A lot of people think I'm being cocky or whatever it is because I'm from Macon, but Like, cause I I love history. We love history.
Right.
And when you start talking about people like Bishop Henry McNeil Turner, or William Scarborough, John Oliver Killings, Charles Douglas, Free Saul. We have so many. Otis Redding, Little Richard. We have so much history here that really doesn't get taught. Ellen and William Craft. There's so much history around here that doesn't get talked about, that you will kind of not really even understand how serious it is and how we inspired or influenced history all over the world. You know what I mean? Even Elijah Muhammad, he was a Macon before he went off and started the Nation of Islam, right? So it's a lot of history.
It's a lot, and even today, history is still being made when we have people like Erica Woodford as the Superior Court clerk, and what she unearthed with the Enslaved Peoples Project. So history is ongoing, and it's important to understand the significance and understand that Black history is American history, is world history. So it needs to be valued and cherished, and I think that we need to do a better job of making sure that we do that. Right,
and he made a point, and that's the last thing I'm going to talk about, in regards to him before he comes on the show. We talk about it all, but he made a great point. He said that he would really love to see Black history. And Pastor Robinson, he was there. He's in the chat too, so he can confirm this. But he talked about how Black history, is utilized in other cities. Right, in regards to economic development, and he was confused as to why, we're not utilizing the history that we have in Black communities and the Black people that we have here. And he said he was surprised to not see a statue of Jefferson Long. Right. Jefferson Long is from Macon. He's the first Black person to ever speak, on the House floor. United States at the United States Capitol. Right. The first Black person ever was from Macon. Right. He was the second Black congressman in the history of America, right? So he said he was shocked to not even see a statue of that when he first came to Macon, and to be able to have, he said places like Birmingham and just other places. Even we look at the museum in Washington D.C. It's always sold, it's sold out. Like you can't even get tickets for the African American Museum, right? Because it's always sold out. So it proves, that our history and our culture is very valuable, and people do want to be a part of it, and it's something that I think we should. It's not anything we should try to beg anybody to try to push for us, or why ain't we doing this, doing that. Let us as a people find a way to embrace our own history, our own culture, and our neighborhoods, the people that live here. We got family members, and I see Edward James. He in the comments. Little Richard he's a one. He's family. He's related to Little Richard. You know what I mean? So we need to really get our folks, who are connected to these legends, to these, to these spaces, to make sure we uplift them and let that be a draw for economic development here in Macon. Because absolutely. I want to talk to you about something. I don't know, you're gonna get us on a format, but
we the format is not right now. We kind of just freestyling, and it's fine.
Okay, so before I say what I was going to say about that, will you shout out the chat? Shout out the chat for us.
I'm going to shout out the chat, and I'm going to try to get to the accountability check question because we barely got to it last week.
Okay, well, go ahead and do all that because I got something I want to bring up.
LJ got something to say. Okay, so we have Miss Jeanette Goff. Ashley Woman says, "Hey, yeah, girl, hey." I don't know what it's from, but I'm gonna do it with this. And then she says, "The Little Richard Festival is this Saturday, right?" Sherman Frank Mathis says, "Famo." I don't know what that means.
Famo? What do you mean, fam? What's up, fam?
Oh.
What that mean? Famo.
I didn't know if it was like an acronym or something.
It's just famo.
Like F around something.
No, it's just famo. What's up, famo?
I got you.
That's your boy. You know how he talk.
My bad, Sherm. I'm gonna get the slang right. Okay, Miss Stephanie Stevens Latham says, "Thank you. I'm glad to have met you both. I'm not going away while campaigning. It made me realize why I joined the race." Absolutely, we appreciate you, and we look forward to all of the great things you do, that you will do. Ashley Wilford also says the 30th anniversary of the Pan African Festival. Frank Dixon says, "Cool." I read those for Sherman, letting us know about the middle school baseball playoffs kicking off at Central at 9 a.m. on Saturday. Ashley, okay, LJ read that one. Pastor Robinson says that's right. Joe Boo says, "What up, Village family?" Hey,
what up,
bro.
Boo?
And then Head Edward James says, my brother and sister, what's up here? We appreciate you always. Ashley says, pay attention to history so it doesn't repeat itself. Yeah, and we can see what's happening right now. It's a lot of history repeating because I think that we have gotten away from that. That's why we have to get back to it. That's why Sankofa for me is one of the philosophies I live by. And that's, going back and fetching it, taking the wisdom from the past and bringing it forward so we can create a better tomorrow. My sister, Kia Boo, says, hey, family. Hey, sis. I know she busy with school. Y'all, I'm going to shout her out every time I see her in the chat because she going to be graduating with her master's in May, y'all. She about to she coming out of there with her social work degree, and she going to do big things, major things.
That's right, sister.
I'm so proud of her. So, yeah, big shout out to my sis. Frank Dixon says, yep, figured he would be embraced as a Black Republican before the shift. Okay. I don't know who you're referring to.
He's probably talking about Jefferson Long.
Jefferson Long. Okay. And then Pastor Robinson says, that's right, man. He dropped some big knowledge. Absolutely, he did. Deidre Taylor says, Macon is well represented in the National Museum of African American History and Culture. Thanks, Deidre, for that. Sherman says, Macon has the Tubman and we can't make it jump for nothing. And we got to do a better job with that. And then Joe Booz put the link to sign up for the Wealth ASAP Purpose program. Yeah, maybe you could tell us a little bit more about that if you're able. And then replying to Ashley, Frank says facts. Right. So, yes.
Yeah, and call in any one of y'all. I think Tia was telling Joe to tell us a little bit more about it, whether it's in the chat in regards to his Wealth ASAP Purpose program that he put in the chat.
You can type it up in the chat or you can give us a call in.
Give us a call.
Bro, either way, we appreciate that information, though, because Joe is doing big things with all of the work that he's doing in the community. So we appreciate him for all of that.
He really is.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Sherman made a big point when he said Macon has the Tubman and we can't make it jump for nothing, meaning, we can't get the support that we need for, in our Black institutions. And we need to do a better job of that. Even like the Pan African Festival is coming up, next week. The Douglas Theater, a lot of these different spaces. The Ruth Hartley Mosley Center.
Absolutely. We had Miss Sylvia McGee on a couple weeks ago, and she talked about that.
Right, and even just supporting our communities. Supporting our neighborhood organizations. And anytime anything is happening in our communities, especially our historically Black communities, making sure that we're there. Our historically Black schools, L.H. Williams. We started talking about closing schools down and what that means to a community, understand the value of L.H. Williams and what it provides for the community, just things like that. So these are important conversations to have. Before I mention what I was going to mention, you didn't say the accountability check question.
I'm going to give the accountability check question. I felt in my spirit that you had some more you wanted to say to round that up, and that's fine. So today's accountability check question, are we more committed to quick, visible solutions or to doing the work of addressing root causes? You see it posted in the chat. Again, the accountability check question today is, are we more committed to quick, visible solutions or to doing the work of addressing root causes? So if you have any thoughts, opinions about that accountability check question, give us a call at 478-250-1444, or you can list your thoughts in the chat. Edward James says quick, visible, that's what we're doing, but is that what we should be doing? What's your thoughts, LJ? Did you want to share your thoughts, or did you want to kind of
I like to share my thoughts, but I would definitely like to hear y'all call in about that. We can, T and I, we can talk about these things now, but we definitely want to hear from y'all. Please call in 478-250-1444. Again, the accountability check question is, are we more committed to quick, visible solutions or doing the work of addressing root causes? So please call in, put it in the chat. What's your answer? What you think? But let us know. But yeah, as far as myself, to answer that question, first of all, let me get a couple things out of the way before we go too far, because we're gonna get out. We forgot to shout out and say congratulations to Andrea Cook, who's now District 5 Commissioner, and Edward James for running
Edward
Foster. I'm talking Edward James. Edward Foster for running a great race. So we had District 5 now has a new commissioner. So just want to let everyone know that, just in case they didn't know, because some people don't be paying attention. They don't know.
Right. So,
so just letting everyone know District 5 does have a new commissioner, right? And in regards to this accountability check question, All right, there was something that got brought up. In regards to something that we're trying to do now, I guess, in Macon. Well, I can't. I'm gonna have to wait. We got a phone.
We got a caller. We got a caller. Hey, caller, how you doing? Hey, caller, you there?
Hello, this is Doc Ridley. Hello.
I'm sorry, who is it?
This is Dot from Dot's Forget Me Nots, Dot Ridley.
Oh, hey, Miss Dot. Hi, Miss Dot. How you doing?
We doing great. How are you all? Seem like y'all doing great things. So I just want to call in and thank you all for highlighting the Black history in Macon, Georgia. Because if you don't keep it before us, people will soon forget. So we do need to do better in Macon about our Black history.
No doubt about it.
And also, I wanted to call to let everyone know Asa Randolph was the person that organized the March on Washington for Dr. King.
Right.
And we have an organization here, and I happen to be the president. And we are having our 32nd anniversary celebration on Saturday at the Douglas at 5 o'clock p.m. Tickets are $40. We would love to have you all come and share. And we are going into the schools. So we have 2 schools this year we will be highlighting, and that's Bertia Hunt and Appleton Middle School. And the children are writing essays, and they're going to be our honorees about the life and legacy of Asa Randolph. So those who don't know about him, come and learn about it.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. That's awesome. And you said again, that's going to be
Pardon me?
I'm sorry. You can go ahead and say, because I was going to just see if you can repeat again the information for the 32nd anniversary celebration.
Okay, it's on Saturday, April the 18th at 5 p.m. at the Douglas Theater. We always go there because we always want to use our facilities. You know, it's a historic place, and we always go there. And we always try to include our youth. And LH William is one of our schools, too, that we have had a lot of to come out and do essays on the life of Mr. Randolph. So if you all would like to come, anybody, just let me know. My number is 478-952-1949, and it's this Saturday at 5 p.m.
Okay,
and thank you so much for what you all are doing.
Thank you so much for tuning in and for sharing that information. And can you tell us, do you all have monthly meetings? Is it a membership fee, or how does that work?
Yes, we meet monthly, the second Monday in every month at 6 p.m. And we meet at the IBEW Union Hall on Patterson Street, right over near Central High School.
Okay.
And I give my number again. If anyone interested, please call me at 478-952-1949. And what our organization does is voter registration, any community activity. Because he was a labor leader. He was the first one that organized a labor union. And it took him 12 years to do it. And that was the Pullman Porter, when blacks was being mistreated on the railroad. He was the one organized. And I want people to read up about him because he was considered one of the dangerous Negroes in the United States.
Yeah, that's serious history about that Pullman Porter, that Black Labor Union.
Right.
That's some real serious history.
It was him. And he's
There's
not
a lot of folks
known a lot, but I think we need to get to know him because he stood for something. And that's what we have to do in our community.
Absolutely.
Help one another.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am.
That's right. And thank you. Before we let you off, I'm going to say, and your brother was the first black mayor in the history of Macon, Middle Georgia.
That's right.
Yeah, I was waiting for y'all to lift that up. I didn't hear that. I caught
that. Sorry it took so long.
He was the first one, and we looking one day maybe get something with his name on it in this city. And it's going to take the community to do it. He can't do it. His family can't do it. It has to be a community effort. We can put names on everything else around the city, but when it comes to him, So that's up to us because it's our history as
right.
a community.
Yes, ma'am.
Yep.
Yes, ma'am. We agree wholeheartedly with that.
That's right.
So, yeah, we hopefully got some things in the works because we've heard people mention, well, LJ specifically is mentioned having the terminal station named after.
And a couple of folks have mentioned the airport too.
Yeah.
You know, so it's something that we need to sit down. We need to sit down and talk about.
And talk about it and come to the table like they used to do.
Yes,
Absolutely.
ma'am.
Yep.
Yes,
Absolutely.
ma'am.
That's what we
Well, thank
have
you so
to
much,
do.
Ms. Dot. We appreciate you
Okay,
and all of
thank
y'all,
you
the
all
history
so
that you
much.
provided. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, if y'all didn't know who her brother was, we didn't mention him by name. That's the Honorable Mayor C. Jack Ellis. You know, that was his sister, Miss Dot.
Yes.
But yeah, she was speaking about us getting something named after him. You know, it needs to happen. That's long overdue.
Absolutely.
You know, so let's do that. All right. Yeah. All right. And so back, you know, we got folks in the chat.
We got some folks in the chat, yes. And so so to answer the accountability check question, Edward Head says quick and visible. Sherman Frank Mathis says quick and visible. Yeah, and why is that? Do y'all want to elaborate on why you believe that is what's happening and what needs to happen? Do you think that that's the best way to go, or do you think that we need to be looking into root causes? Andrea Cook says thank you, congratulations, Andrea, again for your election as District 5 Commissioner. And then Sherman also says, look at all these BBLs. Lord, what you talking about, Sherman?
I think you're talking about quick fixes instead of rooting. That's a totally different way to look at it.
Right. But I get you. I
guess you said instead of going to the gym, they're going to the doctor.
They're getting that quick fix. Still ain't dealing with the root cause of the issue. I understand. We got you. Then he also says Eastside out loud. Yes. So again, Ms. Dot was speaking about the honoring the children of Apton Middle School and the children of Burdell Hunt Elementary School. Both are Eastside. Some of our schools on the east side. So shout out to both of them. And then Joe Boo says we are not just talking about change, we're building it. The Purpose program by Wealth ASAP is for youth ages 12 to 18, where real life skills meet real life application. They're teaching financial literacy, discipline, mentorship, workforce skills, civic engagement, and how to move with purpose early. This is for the young ones ready to think different, move different, and build something real for their future. This ain't something we've been pushing everywhere. This is the first time we're dropping the link on social media, exclusive access Village family. If you're serious, tap in early. Don't wait until it's full. And there is that link again. So y'all, if you have youth ages 12 to 18, make sure you get that link and sign up. Sherman also says facts. Lisa Watson says so true. Joe Boo says, yeah, I think the airport should be named after the Honorable C. Jack Ellis. Absolutely. Razul Salim says peace and blessings. Always a great show. Just checking in. Love the show. We appreciate you, Razul,
all the time.
And we love us some Salim.
Yes, and they moving. They got a new building too.
Oh yes, Razul, you're gonna have to drop that information in the chat if you can. Drop that information about the new location.
No, it's right next to the old location.
Where Mothers used
to
be.
Mothers used to be. Yeah.
Okay, still we can drop it in. We appreciate the information. The heads up. Thank you. And then Carmen says smoke screens and mirrors. We need to look at root causes. That's where real change happens. Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's right. What's up, Sister Carmen?
That's my sis. And with that being said, we have a caller on the line.
On the line?
Hello, caller.
Caller.
Somebody just laughing? Who's just laughing?
Caller 007.
Oh, Lord.
That is the one and only. I know that voice.
Oh, Lord. Golden eye. Golden everything.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah, I don't know if you.
I can't wait for that Jilly from Philly. I got to get me 2 more jobs for all of these concerts, this summer. Erykah Badu is going to be in concert. Jill Scott, Jilly from Philly. We've got the R&B tour with Breezy and Ursher. I mean,
it's about to be a hot girl summer for you, huh? You about to be out in these concert streets.
But you're speaking of Atlanta, Georgia, though. Of course. You talking about the concerts in Atlanta, right?
No, it sounds like she's gonna be everywhere.
You know, and I will tell you about me. I am a concert nomad. So I actually like to go to different cities to have concert experience. So even though, you know, but it will, you know, like sometimes it depends. Like, of course, you know, like if it's Beyonce, I definitely want to be at home, you know. But I've also done Beyonce in Houston. I've also done Beyonce in my best friend, my bestie and I, we went to see her in Charlotte. So, you know, I mean, you know, so I like sometimes seeing what it feels like to, you know, experience an artist with a different crowd of people.
Understood. And there's nothing wrong getting that experience.
Yeah, or in their home,
on the road,
or like in their home place.
Yeah.
Because like my
are you
dream
able
is
to?
see
Are you able to speak?
Lamar in Cali.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Yeah, she's kind of low too.
Are you able to turn the volume up on your phone, Kim?
Let's see. I am turning it up. I have on my earpod. Do I need to take it off maybe?
No. I think we're gonna try it in studio.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we got you.
We got you. We
our engineer Tony. Yeah, he got us right.
Shout out to Tony. Always helping us get this together.
Tony, always. And this is a big election year, so I'll be bugging Tony soon to come over and help me with some voter mobilization.
Absolutely. So let's get into it.
Yes, he and his family are GOTV. He and his family, they are GOTV people. They, in every election cycle, we can always depend on the entire family to help with mobilizing voters to the polls, and that's across the state of Georgia.
That's awesome. That's good, and it's so necessary, especially when we talk about voter mobilization, because here in Macon, we're seeing a lot of voter apathy. We're seeing a lot of issues with voters getting to the polls, and I wanted to hear your thoughts on what's going on with voter mobilization, or the lack thereof, here in Macon be it.
Oh, okay. Yes, that's right. I'm supposed to do. I'm doing my post-mortem on the District 5 race. And, you know, and so from the beginning, let me say this: I was really excited to see all of the new faces and new names and younger faces and younger people that came out to run for office. And I was extremely excited, of course, to see, I think, 3 new Black women who were on the ballot for District 5. But I will say this, and let me go ahead and make this disclaimer, because since I've been off on bereavement leave this week, I've been able to, pay attention to all of the comments on Facebook. And so, no, I don't physically live in District 5, but District 5 is my ancestral home, and it's my home place, Unionville. We still have family property in District 5. Businesses that I support are in District 5. District 5 is the heart and soul of a lot of Black history here in Macon. So District 5 is critical, not only from the Unionville standpoint, but from the standpoint of right there, help me out, LJ, Vining Circle, right?
Right.
Really critical Black history there in Vining Circle. Lily Ruth Gant Evans, a civil rights icon, legend, GOTV queen, is a resident, of District 5. Mr. Caldwell, who lived, Ashe, may his soul rest in peace, who lived, a couple of blocks up from Central High School, iconic. And, and we can just go on and on about Ward Street and Pursley Street and everybody over in Pleasant Hill. So, and then those pieces downtown. So District 5 is a critical district. It's a critical artery to who we are as a community. And if District 5 is not well, then the community isn't well. Are we all clear on that?
Right. Yes.
For sure.
Are we all clear on that?
Oh, most definitely.
Yes,
Loud and clear.
absolutely.
I'm from District 5.
I'm just making sure. I'm just making sure that we are clear on that. That if D5 is not well, D5 is a canary in the gold mine. So if D5 is not well, right? And if our big East Macon is not well, then it ain't well in the city. It's
That's
not
right.
North Macon. These are the two areas that are the true canaries in the gold mine for the condition of Macon, very specifically for our people, right? So when we talk about, and I'm gonna tell you, and I'm getting real sick and tired of some of y'all beating up on Black folks, and very particularly beating up on Black voters, because Black voters are sophisticated, we are practical, we are very cautious about how we decide to exercise our vote. Some Black people see their vote as a prayer. Some Black people see their vote as a bet, right? And so, so when we talk about apathy, I think we have to be very careful in how we couch and use that language, because Black voters are the base of our democracy, not just the base of the Democratic Party. Black voters are the base of our democracy. So if the base is cracking, if the base is folding in, then the very foundation is. So I want us to be extremely, extremely clear on that. And when we talked about what happened and what's happening with the turnout in District 5, we have to be really clear. Have you seen a picture of the map of District 5? All of those little, like almost triangle, perfect points on the axis where it has been gerrymandered and cut so perfectly to
That's right.
Where we have politicians who are choosing their voters instead of voters choosing their politicians, and that's from the bottom of the ballot all the way to Congress, right?
Yes,
where the
absolutely.
gerrymandering happens. So let us be very clear on that. And, I am a part of the Georgia Redistricting Commission. I support and sponsor Fair District Georgia things. And we have even tried to do some citizen mapping exercises here in the Middle Georgia area. And they do a great job of it in Houston and Peach County. So we need to be very clear on that this district is heavily gerrymandered and that the lines were drawn specifically for a certain result post-consolidation, okay?
Right.
Because if you split that district to where it was originally, the people in District 5 had more voice and they had more representation. From Dr. Henry Fickling to Dr. Thelma Dillard, Gerald Harvey, the late Charles Dudley, the late Willie C. Hill, the late Ed Defor, my brother Alvino Ross, who is the baddest policy guy in the land, even former Mayor Rickard, Vernon Colbert, who was the first Black person on City Council, is a District 5 person. The late Reverend Dr. Eddie D. Smith, when before college consolidation, would have had a seat there. And even Eric Erickson. And I can't remember a couple of other folks who have represented that area. So consolidation just packed it, okay, using the gerrymandering term, packed all these folks in together and reduced that voice that they used to have.
Right. Can you break that down real quick for folks that don't know what gerrymandering is?
Yeah, gerrymandering is simple. It means that politicians pick their voters and draw lines in a certain way to get certain political results. And in some areas, you will see where a map is drawn where they have literally tried to draw out a certain street because a very engaging or powerful community activist or a person who maybe ran and got close to beating an incumbent before. So they'll literally draw that person's seat out so they can't run.
Mm-hmm.
And so gerrymandering is as old as the country.
Right.
And how these lines are drawn. And these lines represent power because they represent who gets what, when, where, how, and how much.
Absolutely.
And so
can you answer?
This is a district that is heavily gerrymandered. It was designed in a certain way to look one way from a racial composition, but looks another way from an output and electoral outcome composition. So most of the votes that the new five, how the new five was drawn, and remember, Tyndall Heights was pulled out.
Right.
And a lot of other communities where seniors have been pulled out of those communities and put into high rises and other places where normal voter mobilization practices don't have that same access.
Right. Right.
Even voters for the condition that they're in. These things are intentional. And if you don't understand voter suppression and some of the things that happened in this race by now, I mean, we got to one point where the lines were not clear. We got to another point where we voted early in one part of the election, we didn't do it in the runoff.
Right. And that's and I know people were saying that it's because there wasn't a lot of turnout, but they knew that the turnout was low when they initially put out that there would still be both polling places open for early elections. So I think that when you speak to voter suppression and the gerrymandering, all of these things definitely play a part. And I think that those conversations are not being had enough. And I don't think people really, understand it fully in a way that that they want to do something about it. Because I know we had someone at the President organization saying that she thought she was in District 5. She went to vote and she had to have the chairman of the Board of Elections to contact her because she said she was sure that she was in District 5 and it turned out that she was in District 2. So those are things that
absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I had people calling me who were certain that they had voted in the general part of the special election, and then were told, that they were not. And I think they are all, of course, sending their concerns up to the state elections board, which is their right to do. But and then you have to understand this too, because one of those persons actually showed up, I think it was after 5 p.m. under this new law where the provisional ballot is not provided for you, and all that kind of thing. And so, bless these boards of elections' hearts. There are new laws that are coming out of the legislative sessions every year that have to be implemented. We're waiting right now to hear if Governor Kemp is going to have to call a special legislative session to make the decision for in this midterm if we're actually going to be voting on machines or if we're going to be doing hand paper ballots because of legislation that they passed a few years ago that said that we would not use QR codes anymore. So you have to understand, the game is in play.
Right.
Stop blaming people for not having access to a ballot that every day and twice on Sunday, they are people in elected positions, in power positions, who are fighting about them having this access to the ballot. Hello, SAVE Act, that we're waiting for that vote to happen in Congress on. Hello, Louisiana versus Calais, that we're waiting on a decision on from the Supreme Court. And let's not even talk about the Dred Scott decision and the 14th Amendment and what we're waiting to hear from them. Baby, it's real and real. Stop blaming Black folk because we didn't create these conditions.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We appreciate that. And
then people try to say, every time people try to say, well, black folks is just like crabs in the bucket. Well, how did the crabs get in the bucket? Because crabs are on the beach or in the water.
Absolutely.
Not their natural habitat.
Absolutely. And that's the
clear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. And I think that's definitely important. I made that point last week. We allow people to have these deflections and to do this gaslighting and all of these things, and we don't get to what's really at stake. And that leads me to, just real quickly, because we have about 8 minutes left, if you could answer our accountability check question, and what do you think needs to happen? The accountability check question is, are we more committed to quick, visible solutions, or are we committed to doing the work of addressing root causes?
I'll just say this. When we talk about District 5, which holds the largest landmass of disinvested in Black communities, what we have to understand is when people are saying, well, we were out there knocking and we were out there canvassing and we were on the corners waving. Let me explain something to you. You cannot mobilize anything that you have not organized.
Right.
Will you say that again?
Calling for this. You must be organized before you can mobilize. Okay. So you can't just you can't mobilize a community that you haven't spent the time to organize. Okay. And let me just say this. Real talk, and I'm gonna say these two things, and then I'm gonna jump off because I know time is running out. I did not like the tone and the tenor of the District 5 race. And that is why, let me say this. I am not, I'm the CEO of a whole tier of nonprofits and PACs. So my day-to-day is not working in campaigns anymore, right? And I don't embarge on anybody's campaign. If the candidate asks me for my advice, if the candidate wants to hire me to do something, that's fine. But I don't go sniffing around in, just inserting myself into people's campaigns. Never going to do that. That is not who I am. But understand this. I don't think that Edward Foster ever has stood a chance, because before the brother could even really get his message out and set himself up as a candidate, he was already painted as an anti-Miller candidate. And I think that was really unfair for him, right? Because first of all, Mayor Miller is a fairly popular, mildly popular incumbent mayor. So why would you want to paint someone who's a newcomer into politics, who wants to come into the space, as this, with this whole anti-Miller brush? So the brother didn't have a chance, because once again, some of the very people that you're trying to convince to vote for you are possibly people who like the mayor. Right. And then, I want to give some kudos to Ms. Cook, because here's the thing. Ms. Cook didn't start her campaign just because there was a special election. She has been making moves towards a run for probably about 2 years. And if you've ever been in any of my trainings, I always say, give yourself a 2-year runway before you're going to run for office. Right. And whether she wants to admit it or not, she's definitely been making a lot of what I consider to be the right moves, in community to set yourself up for a run. Right? And then last but not least, money funds politics. Hey, don't blame me. You blame a case called Citizens United that your Supreme Court voted and said corporations are people, that money has to fund that unlimited amounts of money. So money funds the politics. And if you don't have the money to fund the race, then you got to have the people organized and mobilized to do so. And we can never forget, our people want to believe that they're voting for something, voting for their future, voting for their children, voting for quality of life, voting for affordability, voting for a better city. They are not interested in voting against something unless they completely understand and connect the dots to what they're voting against. A lot of Facebook gossip and innuendo and this petty bickering that goes on the people have no idea about any of that stuff. They just want a better life. And if that's not our message, if that's not what we believe about our community and our home, then we're not going to win. Because the goal is governing. And the only way we get to govern is to win elections.
Absolutely. We appreciate you greatly, greatly, greatly. This has been a whole
I love
lesson.
y'all too, and I can't wait to hang out with my niece. And Tia, don't forget to talk about this project that we're working on, where we're trying to get some more foundation and nonprofit funding into the hands of people in our community who are doing the work. So I love y'all, and I gotta run. I gotta talk to this man that wants to marry me. Can you believe it?
Oh yes, absolutely. We can't wait for that wedding. We appreciate you. We love you. Yeah, thank you so much for doing it.
Magazine last week. All right, love y'all. Bye bye.
Bye. I appreciate you. Peace.
Yeah, you got to know Kim Carter though, y'all.
Yes,
she's different.
She is, and we love her. And real quick, what she mentioned. So I'm collecting information on all the nonprofits and organizations who are currently in the community doing work. If you are Black-led, if you are a Black-led organization, whether you're a nonprofit, a 501c3, C4, or if you haven't declared a tax status, please contact me. 478-335-2187. I'm trying to get some information and get that information gathered so we can get some funds dispersed and some
money,
some community organizing going. So y'all, I'm looking out for y'all to please reach out to me as soon as possible, so I can get that information over to Miss Kim so we can start getting those funds dispersed amongst our people.
Yeah. And we ain't got enough time to really even dig all the way into everything that's been said, but hopefully out that. And it's a great thing that Village always go and look at our shows, go back on to listen to it, check out our clip up and put it out there. But Kim Carter, make sure you follow her. She's the founder, president, all of that of Represent Georgia. They do a whole lot. Very powerful nation. For nonprofits and Black-led organizations, they help build power in the Black community. So make sure you stay in tune with her as well. All right. And so we have a few more people in the chat. You want to shout out them folks that's in the chat? Because I can't see it on my screen.
Yes, so we have Miss Dorothy Ridley. That was Miss Dot. She says, very true. Let's not forget our history and understand what's happening in our communities. What just happened? Okay, what's happening in our communities to control the vote? We got to educate our people. Carmen Chantel says they were changing the maps days before March 17th election. Rasul Salim dropped that address for that new the new location for Salim's. Chris Barfield says chasing quick visible fixes may win headlines but rarely solves the real problem. When leaders focus on optics instead of substance, root causes go untouched and the same issues keep coming back, often worse. Real progress takes time, discipline, and a willingness to do the harder, less visible work. Absolutely. Joe Boo says Kim Carter is telling the truth. Pamela Moss says enjoyed this. Thank you so much, Ms. Moss. We appreciate you for coming in. Kevin Morgan says I agree with most of what she's saying. However, regardless of gerrymandering, there are 12,000 registered votes in D5 and only 1,000 voted, and this turned into a huge topic for making bibs, so everyone knew about it and rides were offered. So yeah, I don't agree with her on voter turnout. I think it's more nuanced than that. So we're gonna.
We are. Hey, look, I wish we had more time. So I disagree with you on that one, Kevin.
Yeah.
But I'm quite sure Kim McCord, I see her responding in the chat. Y'all keep the chat going on Village Talks. All right, but we appreciate y'all. We'll be back here next.
You've been listening to Village Talks with Tia and LJ. Join them live every Wednesday from 5:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. right here on the Glory 107.9 FM, 980 AM, WDDO.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers, but are the views and opinions of the participants of the broadcast.
Connecting the community through gospel. The new 107.9 FM, W300EB.